thanks so much for inviting us over to the Tubanos headquarters today.
Oh, we're happy to have you here, Anastasia.
Great. So we're going to be discussing a little bit more about OpenSRS. I guess first question being, what has been the focus with OpenSRS over the past year?
Well, we've been working on a lot of different things. There's been a bunch of things that have been very visible to our resellers. There's 9,000 of them around the world.
Wow.
Yeah, and so for them, they've seen things like the launch of our personal name service. We've made millions of premium names, so these are names that are high-value names on the aftermarket that people are reselling. We've made millions of those available to them now directly through OpenSRS. We've also migrated all of the people using our old email system to a brand new, improved system.
Okay.
And we've been really happy with the feedback on that. And all of that's been very visible, but at the same time, we've been doing a lot of work that people wouldn't see, which is really about making the systems more reliable, more scalable, and easier for us to do future development. So we're working on code that sometimes, because we've been around for a while, it's 7-8-year-old code, and it's time for it to be replaced. So we've been doing a lot of kind of preparation for the future around those things. And the thing that's kind of made that work for us has been being an agile shop. So that's another thing that people wouldn't see, where we've gone to the agile development process, which allows us to do really quick iterations on things. So we've been getting probably more done in the last year than we've got done in the 3 years before that. It's been a really amazing change here at Tubanos. And of course, for my team, we've also focused on getting the OpenSRS brand out, which has been a fair bit of work for the marketing team.
So why did you rebrand Tubanos Reseller Services to OpenSRS?
Well, it started as part of a bigger project. Tubanos has a lot of different lines of business, and we've tended to call them all Tubanos.
Right.
And it's been a bit confusing for people. A lot of people know it as the download site.
Right.
And then it's also our corporate name. So we wanted to do some rebranding of everything, just to kind of clarify the different bits and pieces, make it easier for people to understand how they should be dealing with Tubanos. And through that process, we had to think about what we were going to do with the wholesale service, the part that sells domain names and email addresses to people. And it was interesting because what we ended up doing was actually going back to the future. We did we did a rebrand because OpenSRS, while we're kind of saying, oh, this is our new brand, it's actually our old brand. Because when we started in 1999, our wholesale service, we were the first wholesale registrar, and we called the service OpenSRS. And as we were doing all the rebranding work, we started doing some research. We found out that 78% of those original resellers that started with us on day one were still with us. And that really talked to that loyalty that we had. And as we thought about it, we'd been reluctant early on to use OpenSRS as the name for everything that we did at that level, because we felt that it was really about domains. And as we added email and SSL services and personal names and things like that, we thought, well, people are going to think OpenSRS is domains. They're not going to understand these things. But what we found is that our resellers are now adopting all those services. So more and more, it is really a full suite of services. So OpenSRS is really the brand now for the entire wholesale service.
So what does the OpenSRS brand stand for then?
Well, it is, in fact, focused on being reseller friendly. We feel that really being truly dedicated to our resellers, understanding what their needs are, and building the service so that it makes sense for them and beyond that for their customers is incredibly important. And for us, reseller friendly was kind of not just a tagline, it was something that we'd long believed, and we wanted to make that commitment very strong and very visible, to the point where we actually put reseller friendly is right in the logo. So it's very hard to step back from being reseller friendly once it's in your logo.
Exactly. So what can we expect to see in the future in terms of product management?
Well, I think there's going to be a lot happening. As an agile shop, we don't kind of publish long roadmaps and tell everybody where we're going to be, in December 2010, we'll be launching this feature. But our focus has really been on enhancing the domain service and the email service, which are kind of the core of what OpenSRS is about. Making those better, more reliable, more scalable, easier for our resellers to use, and overall working on interfaces and giving them, making them a great experience for people to use. I don't know if it can be fun to use a reseller's domain system or email system, but I want to get as close to that as we can. I think would be my goal.
Well, thank you, Ken. It was an absolute pleasure getting to speak to you.
Oh, it's been my pleasure. Thanks.